All right, guys, welcome to the show. Today, Bloodbath City for President Joe Biden. New poll comes out, him versus Trump, head to head. Woo! It does not look good for the Democrats. And that is kind of surprising after the midterms and after everything Trump has said and done and all the investigations. We'll dive into all that. We also have a CNN host has a light bulb moment when he finally realizes, it turns out the Pentagon is deeply corrupt. Wow, you don't say. It's not like every single person on the left hasn't been saying that for decades. And then we also have a new Republican entering the fray, 2024 presidential race. And this guy is going to bring a show. He's going to bring a show. I can guarantee you that. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it here. We have a new poll that just came out, Trump versus Biden. And suffice to say, old Sleepy Joe is in serious, serious trouble. Poll finds Trump beating Biden by 7 points. DeSantis is just tying the president in the matchup. Look, I got to be honest with you guys. I'm shocked by this poll. I really am. I really am. Because my perspective for quite a long time now has been literally any normie Republican is better off against Joe Biden. Why? Because Trump is he's just over the top, right? People are sick of it. People are tired. It's endless drama mongering 24/7. You got the rigged election nonsense that he pushed relentlessly. All the candidates who were tied to Trump got draxed in the midterms. And he was at a low point. After January 6th, he was at a low point. He had a new low point after the midterms. And it just seemed like he was politically dead in the water. He lost his normie touch. That's the most important point. But the thing about politics is it's not stagnant. It's fluid. And so things change, honestly, on a daily basis. And it appears like that has flipped. So now Trump is beating Biden by a lot, and DeSantis is just tied with Joe Biden. They say former President Trump leads President Biden by a 7-point margin in a new survey shared Friday with The Hill from Harvard Capps Harris poll. Now, that's another important point. This isn't like a Rasmussen poll, which is very biased in favor of the right. This is a standard mainstream pollster that's saying this. Separately, the poll found Biden and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis deadlocked in a tie when those surveyed were asked who they preferred in a head-to-head matchup. The results coupled together point to the apparent strength of Trump in the GOP primary as DeSantis gets set to enter the race as early as next week. Trump had led DeSantis in a number of polls of GOP voters by double digits. DeSantis has made the case that he is the stronger general election candidate to face Biden, but the new poll raises questions on whether that's the case. The survey found 47% of respondents said they would vote for Trump in the 2024 election if the 2024 election was today, and Trump and Biden were the political parties' respective candidates. 40% backed Biden, while 13% said they did not know or were unsure. Only 40% for the incumbent sitting president. That's abysmally low, man. That's embarrassingly low. The power of incumbency is tremendous. And it's basically null and void here. 42% of respondents picked Biden, and an equal percentage picked DeSantis in that matchup. 16% said they did not know or were unsure. In another potential sign of concern for Democrats, Biden barely edged out former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley in a matchup, receiving 40% support to Haley's 38% support. Guys, 38% of the country doesn't even know who Nikki Haley is. You have plenty of people who don't even know who she is, who goes, yeah, I'll take her over Biden. Man, that does not bode well for the zombie president. It just doesn't. How could they have let it get to this point? And by the way, why is this the case? Well, it's very simple. What have you done for me lately? This is what Americans are saying. All we get about Joe Biden within the past month is, yeah, we're going to do a debt ceiling negotiation with the Republicans where we're probably going to crack down on our social safety net programs, maybe do work requirements, things of that nature. That's all we're getting. There is no big, bold agenda. There are no executive orders, not giving anybody else health care. And look, even if you say there were provisions in the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, that were pretty good, which there were, that was a while ago now, dog. It reminds me, Biden had his highest approval rating when? It was, I believe, 52%. After he cut a check to people, $1,400 checks to people. But then, time goes by, you do nothing, your numbers dip again. And this is where we are. That's where we are in the cycle right now. So they continue here and they say, quote, seems as though Trump versus Alan Bragg or CNN is a favorable match to him. Let's see how the primary develops with Republican opponents like DeSantis or Scott. The polling comes as Trump is still widely seen as the Republican frontrunner to take on Biden next year. DeSantis, who has not yet officially announced a White House bid, but is expected to soon, is seen as Trump's chief rival and generally polls in second place. So they go on to say 2,000 registered voters in the poll, blah, blah, blah. You get the gist of it. Look, this is devastating. If the election was today, Donald Trump would be our next president of the United States. I want you to sit on that. I want you to sit on that point for a second. This is the guy who totally botched the reaction to COVID. This is the guy whose biggest legislative accomplishment was a tax cut for the rich, where 83% of the benefits went to the top 1%. This is a guy who, despite the garbage conventional wisdom, was a hawk. He was not a peacenik. He wasn't a peacenik at all. And he's on the brink of getting back in the White House. The Democrats should be ashamed of themselves, man. They should be ashamed of themselves. It should be the easiest thing in the world, not only to defeat Trump, which that should be super easy, but also to defeat the rest of these Republicans. I mean, it should be a cakewalk. This is, FDR would look at this and say, yummy in my tummy. These people are a joke. Remember, FDR won the presidential election 4 times, and he held 80% of the House and 80% of the Senate, respectively. These Democrats, Biden is down 7 points to Donald Trump. There's no excuse for this, man. There's no excuse for this. But the political reality has absolutely changed. Look, I'm more than happy to admit when I was wrong. And right now, I was wrong. Because my point was DeSantis, literally any Republican is better off against Biden than Trump. Because Trump has that stench of you're too extreme. But the other thing we've realized in politics, time heals all wounds. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Happened with George W. Bush. George W. Bush now has a positive approval rating among Democrats, even though he was arguably our worst president of all time. Trump is the same thing. He's been gone for a hot minute. Not really gone, but more so gone. And it looks like there's some rose-colored glasses that people have for him. Certainly the Republican base. 7 points up on Biden. 7 points up. So how do you combat this? Guys, the answer is easy. The answer is simple. You have to fight for a big, bold agenda. Biden didn't get us a $15 minimum wage. He didn't. He did it for federal employees and federal contractors. Good. But now you got to do it for the whole country. You have to do it. He didn't get us a public option. He ran on a public option for healthcare. He didn't get us a public option. These are things that would definitely make it so that you destroy Donald Trump. He didn't even... Guys, Roe versus Wade was overturned. The Democrats had a majority of the House and a majority of the Senate. They didn't even codify Roe versus Wade through Congress. That was a political layup. He couldn't do it. He didn't do it. This is why you're down. Do something. Do something. Also, by the way, keep it real. Biden's got to stay on his meds. Keep popping that Adderall. Keep taking whatever drugs, that got you through that debate with Bernie back in the day. Go back on those drugs. Because without those, you're a zombie lost old man. Damn near Dianne Feinstein territory, and she don't even know where she is. So, man. We, as of this moment, now, of course, this is subject to change like anything else, but as of this moment, we are right back in 2015, 2016 in terms of the political reality on the ground. Good luck to us all, is all I have to say. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.